SC-48 was a North Atlantic convoy of the SC series which ran during the Battle of the Atlantic in World War II. It was notable for being the occasion of the Kearny incident, which brought the United States one step closer to war with Germany. Prelude. SC-48 was an eastbound convoy of 52 ships carrying war materials and sailed from Sydney, Cape Breton on the 5th of October 1941 bound for Liverpool. It was under the command of Commodore H.M. Sanders in the MV Castalia. It was escorted by a Canadian escort group consisting of the destroyer HMCS Columbia and 7 corvettes: HMCS Wetaskiwin, HMCS Rosthan, HMCS Baddock, HMCS Camrose, HMCS Shadiac, HMS Gladiolus and the Free French Mimosa. Opposing this force was the patrol line Maud Brenner, which was to have comprised 8 U-boats and was in the process of forming south of Iceland near the mid-ocean meeting point. This was the point at which North Atlantic convoys were handed over between the ocean and the western approaches escorts. At this stage of the Atlantic campaign, Allied intelligence became aware of the presence of Maud Brenner and started to divert the convoys then at sea. But a loss of ultra-intelligence on 12–13 October left SC-48 in the dark, and on the night of 14–15 October it was sighted by U-553. At this point in time, SC-48 was in some disarray. 11 of its ships, including Castalia, were straggling following heavy weather on the night of 9–10 October. Columbia and 2 of the corvettes, Camrose and Rosthan, were detached looking for them. A 3rd corvette, Shediac, was also separated by the storm and out of radio contact. On the 14th of October, SC-48's escort comprised just 4 corvettes: Wetaskiwin, Baddock, Gladiolus and Mimosa. Action. In the early hours of the 15th of October, Thurman of U-553 reported his contact to U-boat command and was ordered to shadow, whilst other U-boats were gathered for the attack. However, Thurman chose to attack that night, and succeeded in sinking 2 ships, Silver Cedar, which lost 21 crew, and Ela, most of whose crew were saved. U-553 was sighted by Silver Helm, the next ship in the column, which attempted to ram, but failed. U-553 was also sighted by WC Teagle, but she was unable to bring her gun to bear before U-553 escaped. On the 15th of October, Enigma was reacquired and Western Approaches Command realized a major attack was building. A number of escorts from nearby convoys were diverted to reinforce SC-48. First, a force of U.S. destroyers, detached from On-24, 2 Royal Navy destroyers from TC-14, 2 Royal Navy corvettes from On-25, and ARCN corvette from Iceland. Later on the 15th of October, Columbia rejoined, while U-553 was joined by 2 more boats, U-558 and U-568. As U-553 continued to shadow, she was sighted by Columbia, who attacked her, driving her away, but with no damage. U-553 fired a torpedo at Columbia, which missed. During the day, U-558 joined. Having encountered the ship Vancouver Island sailing independently, she was sunk with the loss of all 73 crew and 32 passengers. Before nightfall, U-568 also arrived, and the 3 boats prepared to attack. As darkness fell on the night of 15–16 October, the U-boats attacked again. U-568 attacked and sank Empire Heron, Gladiolus counterattacked, and U-568 was driven off. Gladiolus then detached to pick up survivors, but never rejoined the convoy. She was lost with all hands, reportedly by U-568 on the 17th, but more probably notably on the 16th by U-432. After midnight on 15/16, SC-48 made an emergency turn to port, followed before dawn by a turn to starboard, in an attempt to shake off pursuit. This was initially successful, but the pack regained contact in the afternoon of 16th and again closed in. Also that afternoon of the 16th of October the first reinforcements arrived, in the form of Disran 13. This comprised the destroyers US Decatur, US Kearny, and US Livermore, led by US Plunkett. These were joined later by Thiebaud's 5th destroyer, US Greer, accompanied by HMCS Pictou. As senior officer present, Thiebaud assumed command of the escorts. However, although he had seniority, Thiebaud had little experience in escort work, and a number of mistakes were made, allowing the U-boats to mount a successful attack that night. By nightfall on 16th, BDU had gathered 10 U-boats for the attack, the 3 moored Brenner boats plus 7 newcomers. During the night of 16/17 the pack attacked, closing in with little interference from the escorts. U-553 sank Bold Venture at about 8 p.m. U-558 sank WC Teagle. About an hour later, Ervicon was attacked and sunk as she stopped to pick up survivors, and Rim was also sunk as she slowed to do the same. U-432 sank Evros and Barfon just before midnight. Just after midnight, U-568 hit a destroyer which had stopped to avoid a collision with a corvette. This was US Kearny. She was severely damaged, losing 11 killed and 22 wounded, but was saved by effort of the crew. She was detached to Iceland, escorted by Decatur and Greer. In the early hours of the 17th of October, more warships arrived: HMS Highlander and Broadwater from TC-14, and HMS Abelia and Veronica from ON-25. With this reinforcement, further attacks were warded off, but the pack remained in contact, awaiting a further opportunity. At dawn on the 17th of October, the convoy was joined by Western Approach's escort. This was EG-3, comprising 4 destroyers and 1 corvette, with 2 trawlers and a rescue ship. The RCN group departed at this point, being low on fuel. Also Disran 13 left to follow Kearny to Iceland. The pack was still in contact, but all further attacks were frustrated by the escort. Veronica made a determined attack on a contact and claimed a kill, but no U-boat loss was confirmed. A Catalina flying air cover also bombed U-558, which was damaged but continued to shadow until the attack was called off. On the night of 17/18 October, the pack tried again. All attacks were repelled, but U-101 fired on Broadwater, causing her mortal damage. She remained afloat for another 12 hours, but had to be abandoned and sunk. On the 18th of October, BDU ordered the attack discontinued. Moored Brenner, which had never completely formed, was dissolved, the remaining boats being sent west to form a new patrol line off the coast of Canada. The remaining boats were moved east to form a new patrol line, Reiswolf, southeast of Greenland. SC-48 continued without further loss, the 31 ships arriving at Liverpool on the 22nd of October 1941. The 11 stragglers which had become separated in the storm on the 10th of October had been gathered up by Camrose and Rothan, led by Commodore Sanders in Castalia, and with just 2 corvettes as escort, this group was able to make the crossing without interference, arriving in Britain 10 days after the main body. Conclusion: this was undoubtedly a victory for the U-boat arm. SC-48 lost 9 ships of 51,093 tons, While the escort lost 2 ships sunk and ONR damaged, no U-boats were lost. Some of the losses, in the face of a large and powerful escort force, can be attributed to Captain Thiebaud's inexperience in convoy escort duty. This, and other cases, led to the practice of leaving the escort group commander of the convoy in charge of its defense, regardless of seniority, a major break with tradition. The attack on Kearny and the loss of American lives was seen as an affront to the United States, and was another step out of her isolation in World War II. Tables